There's a lot to be said about this performance. The fact that Apple is the one sponsoring it is something to be said about that. Apple is one of the companies that did not do away with its DEI programs and initiatives. The Squid Game looking checkerboard game that they had down was pretty interesting as well. I don't know if Kendrick meant for this to mean that he is not playing these types of games, or if you want to play these types of games, he is more than ready and down to do so. Nevertheless, it was interesting to see that. For Samuel L. Jackson to say that this is the great American game, that can be a play on words, because there are a lot of people here that have been used as chess pieces, African Americans or black people being one. The great Uncle Samuel L. Jackson was a wonderful surprise. As we all know, the universal Uncle Sam is a Caucasian gentleman, so to have him being a black man is a lot to say about that. And throughout this whole performance, Kendrick said a lot without saying a lot. Sometimes we are used against our own people, and that's what I took this to mean. Uncle Sam is known to recruit. He is the image for recruiting for the U.S. Army or military. And to have a black man doing that, knowing the different tragedies and instances that we have been taken advantage of when it comes to being here, definitely said a lot. If you've read the book Uncle Tom's Cabin, I do already understand that Uncle Tom was not who they portray him to be and who he has become. Uncle Tom was actually a very smart man, and he did what was right. However, being that we have a certain understanding of what an Uncle Tom is in today's time, you have Samuel L. Jackson playing basically Uncle Sam, and I think that that's definitely a play on the situation as well, of him being Uncle Sam and an Uncle Tom, based on some of the things that you hear him say during the performance. Kendrick comes out in his 1987 Buick GNX. He then proceeds to have many chocolate-faced men pop out of the GNX. I loved this performance because it was all black people, and I love that. I love when we love on each other. Another trend that I saw in this was the fact that red, white, and blue was represented in this performance heavily. This American flag here is made up of black bodies and black men. This is such a deep statement, and you'd miss it if you didn't look for it, if you didn't notice it, or if you weren't in tuned. Kendrick is always a very deeply spiritual and politically in tuned rapper. I would even call him a conscious rapper, to be honest. And a lot of people will miss it if it's not for you, or if you're not looking for it. And that's why a lot of people didn't understand his performance, or they dislike his performance. And it's because it's not for you. You're not going to understand it if it's not for you. In the Bible, it says that if people don't accept it, you just brush the dirt off your sandals. You brush the sand off your sandals, and you keep going. You got to keep going. The people that are supposed to get it will get it. And everybody is not supposed to get it because it's not for everyone. Another profound statement was the fact that he performed his song DNA while he actually formed the American flag on the stage. And that to me said that this country was built on black bodies, on our backs. And for him to do that and have the black bodies formed in that way to make up the American flag, again, is something you would miss if you're not looking for it. I'm going to digress a little bit here. He has an album called To Pimp a Butterfly, and on there's a song called How Much a Dollar Costs, which I break down in another video on my channel. But this particular picture, it says a lot also, because you had black bodies, once again, that built the White House, and to have a bunch of young black people that you wouldn't expect to be there, and they are the representation of what the culture looks like in some areas of African American life today, was very interesting. And if you look at the very bottom, there's a Caucasian man under their foot. Okay, so I just want you all to just look at symbolism, look at what he is trying to say without saying it out loud, because this man is saying a lot. And I know I keep saying that, but it's again, if you are not searching for it, you won't see it. Something else I noticed is the lowercase a that he's wearing on his chest. I couldn't figure out why he was wearing that. And then, in the song Not Like Us, he talks about quote unquote A minor. So he's wearing a lowercase a on his chest. This particular scene I really, really liked because it's Kendrick with a bunch of his homeboys hanging by a street light. And what I really loved about it is the fact that they are wearing gold grills. Now, a lot of people like to make fun of us for wearing gold and all these jewels and things like that. But I think of it in a much deeper fashion, because you have to look at where we come from, our origin. We are from a land of jewels. Okay, everybody else goes there to get it, to rob the land of it. But we get made fun of for actually wearing it. So it says a lot, and I really appreciated the fact that he had all of his homeboys there supporting him, and they had their grills in while he was on a national stage representing his culture.
Deduct one life.
Whoa, 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 red flag, red flag. So Samuel L. Jackson says deduct a life because Kendrick Lamar brought his homeboys with him. To me, that means he brought help, he brought support. And because he did that, and there is strength in numbers, that a life is going to be taken and deducted. Black people are punished for showing strength and coming together. Kendrick actually does a couple songs with the artist SZA as well. He had a song with her on the Black Panther movie that was pretty powerful. In this scene, you see people laying on the ground. And that's to show that there are a lot of casualties that had to take place, and especially a lot of Black lives casualties to form this, what we called United States of America we have today. The colors that Kendrick chose to perform in, red, white, and blue, also means a lot. He's saying 2 or 3 different things in doing this. He's saying that we as Black people, African Americans, whatever you want to call us, are actually part of this society, this culture, this nation. We built it. We helped build it. We were foundational in building it. We are the DNA that built it. And we are a part of it. It is a part of us. And so wearing the red, white, and blue is just showing that and stating that. It's also a representation, I believe, of the bringing together of 2 different very big organizations in our culture, whether you deem it good or bad, and that's the Crips and the Bloods. Another thing is the fact that the United States in itself is represented by red, white, and blue, not only in the flag, but the fact that you have Democrats and Republicans, of which they tend to gear towards one blue and one red. And that's why you have some people that compare the Crips and Bloods to the different parties of the United States in politics, because some really don't see it as a difference. It's just a difference in the way that things are governed and the fact that one is deemed legal and one is illegal. However, when you look at it, they both have participated in things that have not been morally correct or legal, if you want to say that as well. The great tennis player Serena Williams graced the stage as well. And I do understand that she is from LA, and she came out while he was performing the song They're Not Like Us. But I definitely saw this as a dig towards Drake, because Serena dated Drake. It was great that Kendrick gave DJ Mustard, the gentleman who helped produce and make They Not Like Us, his props and bringing him out during the performance. At the end of the performance, Kendrick says turn the TV off, but earlier he says that the revolution will be televised. So he's definitely doing his part in revolutionizing us and bringing us together as a people. Even though there was this big riff and beef with Drake, I think eventually that's definitely going to die down. And if you are mature, in which we should be, we should get past that and get past the division, especially when it comes to things among us, so that we can come together. I'm not sure what this is all about. Most things are usually about money, and I don't know how that beef came about, but it's definitely turned into something major, and it has put Kendrick in the spotlight in a good way. And, you know, he's gotten his props. I'm not sure where Drake is right now with what he's up to, but not to take anything away from Drake. He's definitely a great artist. You can't take away his talent. But this beef is just something else that came from somewhere else. But in the meantime, Kendrick's message is definitely being put out there, and it's definitely his time, and we must give the man his props. He is an amazing artist. He's an amazing fighter in the cause. He definitely puts a lot of different things out in the forefront for us to think about and for us to address. After Kendrick performs DNA, Samuel L. Jackson says, that's what they want when Kendrick says, sit down and stay humble. And that's a message in that, because that is something I have heard a lot lately. The racists have come out of the woodworks. It's not that they didn't exist. They've always been here. They'll always be here. But they just want us to sit down and to be quiet, just like they told LeBron, just shut up and dribble. That's all they want. They don't want to hear from us. They don't want us to rise up. They don't want us to fight for ourselves. They just want us to perform, okay? And Kendrick definitely did this. And there were a lot of people that did not like the fact that Kendrick performed, because either they claimed they couldn't understand him or what he was saying, because some people, rap is just not their thing. Okay, I get it. But for the most part, we already know who the majority group of people who did not like the performance is. You know, and then you had black people as well who didn't like the performance, who would have preferred, say, Little Wayne perform, or somebody else that they liked. But I think that people are missing the point, and I think that people who didn't like the performance should actually go and read the lyrics of Kendrick's music. And they need to go and look at some of his past performances to see if they catch some of those messages that are subtle and some of the ones that aren't so subtle, because he makes very bold statements as well. Sometimes everything doesn't need words. He makes a lot of bold statements in the imagery that he projects as well. Overall, I give this performance an A. I give it an A because even though he wasn't really able to do a lot of the theatrics and the visual, displays that he usually does and he sometimes does, I still feel that the message was there for who was supposed to catch it. Okay, the fact that he performed at all was amazing to me. For them to have a conscious rapper there, Jay-Z was behind choosing who performed. I don't know why they chose who they chose, why they didn't choose Louisiana, artists or whatnot. I know that was an issue as well because the Super Bowl was played in Louisiana. Nevertheless, sometimes we just got to take what we can take out of what is given to us. And this was actually a great performance to me. People say it was boring, it was mid, it was all of that. Sometimes you don't need all that hoopla. You don't need all this foolishness. Sometimes you just need the pure message just given to you. And again, a lot was said in this video by me about this performance, because I feel very passionate sometimes, because when we're trying to make a move and we're trying to strive and achieve things, sometimes you can't let the enemy know everything that you're doing. You're going to have to be subtle. You're going to have to be coy. You're going to have to be as wise as a serpent, but as gentle as a dove. And I think that that's definitely what Kendrick brought to us in this performance tonight. I want to thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think, and you be blessed.